Hello and welcome to Financial Accounting. Today we will continue with the revenue recognition topic and look into accounting for one of the revenue recognition issues, the bill and hold arrangement. Revenue is a critical measure of the financial performance of any business. It offers insights into a company's past and future performance and is a significant driver of other performance measures such as net income and earnings per share. That is why it is a priority for companies to establish strong guidelines for revenue recognition. Many transactions present a few issues for revenue recognition. In this video, we will talk about one of those issues, a bill and hold arrangement, when a seller and a buyer agree that goods sold stay with the seller for a period of time. A bill and hold arrangement is a contract under which a seller bills a customer for a product, but at the same time, the seller physically keeps the sold product until it is transferred to the customer at some point in time in the future. Bill and hold sales happen when the buyer is not ready to take delivery, but does take the title and accepts billing. It is very important to note here that the seller holds the goods for the customer's convenience and not because it wants to recognize revenue earlier. For example, a customer may request a company to enter into such an arrangement because of lack of available space for the product, delays in its production schedule, or more than sufficient inventory in its distribution channel. Let's look at an example. Store Supplies and Company sells 150,000 of furniture on March 1st, 2022 to a local coffee shop, Sugar Plum Coffee, which is planning to expand its locations around the city. The cost of the furniture is $70,000. Under the agreement, Sugar Plum Coffee asks Store Supplies to retain the furniture in its warehouses until the new coffee shops that will house the furniture are ready. The title passes to Sugar Plum Coffee at the time the arrangement is signed. When should Store Supplies recognize the revenue from this bill and hold arrangement? When to recognize revenue in a bill and hold arrangement depends on the circumstances. Store Supplies and Company determines when it has satisfied its performance obligation to transfer a product by evaluating when Sugar Plum Coffee obtains control of that product. For Sugar Plum Coffee to have obtained control of a product in a bill and hold arrangement, it must meet all of the conditions for changing control, plus all of the following criteria. The reason for the bill and hold arrangement must be substantive. The product must be identified separately as belonging to Sugar Plum Coffee. The product currently must be ready for physical transfer to Sugar Plum Coffee. Store Supplies cannot have the ability to use the product or to direct it to another customer. In this example, assuming that the above criteria were met in the contract, revenue recognition should be allowed at the time the contract is signed. Store Supplies has transferred control to Sugar Plum Coffee. That is, Store Supplies has a right to payment for the furniture and the legal title has been transferred. Store Supplies makes the following entry on March 1st, 2022 to record the bill and hold sale and related cost of goods sold. A debit or increase to accounts receivable, $150,000, and a credit or increase to sales revenue, $150,000. The second part of the transaction is a debit or increase to cost of goods sold, $70,000, and credit or decrease to inventory, also $70,000. Let's look at one more example. On June 1st, 2022, Mills Company sells 250,000 of shelving units to a local retailer, Antique Corner, which is planning to expand its stores in the area. The cost of the shelving units to Mills is $150,000. Under the agreement, Antique Corner asks Mills to retain the shelving units at its factory until the new stores are ready for installation. The title passes to Antique Corner at the time the agreement is signed. The shelving units are delivered to the stores on September 1st, 2022, and Antique Corner pays in full. Let's prepare the journal entries for this bill and hold arrangement, assuming that conditions for recognizing the sale as a bill and hold sale have been met for Mills on June 1st and September 1st, 2022. When to recognize revenue in a bill and hold arrangement depends on the circumstances. Mills determines when it has satisfied its performance obligations to transfer a product by evaluating when Antique Corner obtains control of that product. For Antique Corner to have obtained control of a product in a bill and hold arrangement, all of the following criteria should be met. The reason for the bill and hold arrangement must be substantive. The product must be identified separately as belonging to Antique Corner. The product currently must be ready for physical transfer to Antique Corner. Mills cannot have the ability to use the product or to direct it to another customer. In this example, the criteria are assumed to be met. As a result, revenue recognition should be permitted at the time the contract is signed. Mills makes the following entry on June 1st, 2022 to record the bill and hold sale. A debit or increase to accounts receivable, $250,000. A credit or increase to sales revenue, $250,000. The second part of the transaction is a debit or increase to cost of goods sold, $150,000. A credit or decrease to inventory, $150,000. Before we get to the next journal entry, it is worth mentioning that if a significant period of time elapses before payment, the accounts receivable should be discounted. In addition, if one of the 4 conditions is violated, revenue recognition should be deferred until the goods are delivered to the customer. On September 1st, 2022, Mills makes the following entry to record the cash received. A debit or increase to cash, $250,000, and a credit or decrease to accounts receivable, $250,000. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button and ring the notification bell so you are notified when we release more videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again in the next video.